Hello, Spirit Box Weekly, and I'd like to welcome in Doppel, Ed, and Chris V. And I've actually had the Spirit Box going pretty much since I got home. Turned it on at about I don't know, 7 o'clock, and yeah, some interesting stuff. As you can see, I still have it, still sweeping right there for everybody. I did add in the noise reduction pedal. I do have that in there as well, and I don't know if my audio is very loud. It looks like it's loud, but I can't tell if it's actually loud. I think it's louder now. I really got to figure out how to tweak these mixers so they're perfect. So that the audio, I don't have to fluctuate with it. But yeah, I hope everybody has had a beautiful week. If I didn't catch you last night with Loving Whispers, hope everybody had a beautiful week since last week. And I got some, we got a few more weeks with testing this, and I'd like to let everybody know, not next Friday, it'll be the Friday after that. I regrettably have to not do a stream because we have our public investigation at the Finger Lakes Mall, and that's on May 12th, which is Friday evening, and we're doing it from like 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. I will not be broadcasting it live. We're going to focus with our public events in the capacity of not trying to do them live, just so we can focus on the patrons that come in and support the event. Then after that, in July, we're going to have a private investigation, which we're going to stream live at the mall. And that should be a lot of fun. It'll be just us, and Renee will be there with us. So those of you that have kind of gotten to know Renee through the Loving Whispers, she'll be there investigating with us, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting and fun and all that good stuff. And we do have a future location coming up due to scheduling. It's actually going to take a year for us to get into it. But it's pretty notable for haunted locations. And it's been on Paranormal Lockdown, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. It's been on all of them. But we will be hosting an event there. It'll be May of 2018, but due to scheduling, we wanted to push it back a little bit to make sure it didn't conflict with anyone else's schedule. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the Spirit Box, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this switch, which is going to unmute it. Hello, hello. And I do have this going through a noise suppression pedal, and it's also then it's delaying on the mixer. So for any individuals, I did hear you earlier, and we're trying to test this out live with other individuals to see what communication we can get with this. Not on Facebook. This is on YouTube. This is our weekly session that we do with you guys. I see we have Bill in here, we have Judy, we have Whitney. If you guys haven't checked out each other's channels, go ahead and do that as well. Bill and Chris have their own couple stations actually. I think Christy has two stations now. And that moved just because of the camera, but go like this, bada boom. That's just a close-up of the device. I think, you know, with people that want to try to utilize these, your volume button's on the top here, so you can turn it up and down. And then you're with this one again. I'll show everybody. If you just put a clamp on it right here, and then that'll do the sweep for you. This is one of the most popular ones that quite a few people are using out in the field. So you got Joe from PCL, Paranormal Crossroads Live. He uses this with his SBE, and there's quite a few other individuals. I know Bob Christopher was utilizing it as well. Holly, thanks for being in here. Now, is William or Becky, are you around? Are you able to communicate? Or Emily? I believe I heard Edward earlier. And the slower that you try to talk, the easier it is for us to understand you. Just to let you know. And just so everybody's aware, this is a camera that's facing it. There's a light on it. Here's the device, and then this is the suppression pedal right here. I can turn it so it's on mute or reduction. Hello. Is there anybody that may be watching this or maybe taking part in trying to do communication you'd like to say hello? Bethany, thanks for being in here. Yeah, this pedal, it's just it's a Behringer noise reducer, the NR300, and it's like $20 on Amazon. So I mean, for those that may be interested, it's fairly inexpensive, and I mean, you can go like this, and there's no white fuzz whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, you turn it all the way down like that, and there's no white fuzz whatsoever. And then you turn the audio up on there. Hello, hello. Turn that just up a little bit. I know you like the fuzz a little. Helps with what you're trying to do. Okay. Okay. Now, is there any questions you guys may have? Everybody in the chat, do you guys have any questions you'd like to have me ask? And any individuals that may be coming through with this device, is there any questions you would like to ask?
It's not.
And I do have it actually, it's playing in the room as well. I mean, I can turn the mixer down. And you can hear it still going. It's in the room. I'm having it play back in the room just to make sure, you know, maybe they're trying to communicate within the room too. All different tests and things to try. This is going on a backwards sweep. We had some absolutely outstanding communication last week. I was trying to do the test, you know, to say the sound test that I usually do with the other hobby that I have, doing sound for bands and stuff. And I read an interesting article that if you say something in the lines of technician awaiting. Technician awaiting. It's one of the key things that I guess the group that was researching with Thomas Edison when they did the ITC research, that was one of the things they would say is technician awaiting, and it would hopefully give them responses and the concept of what they were trying to do. Turn it down. Any technicians that may be available on the other side, what is the proper procedure for what I should be using in settings to communicate with you? A little bit of delay, is that helpful or no? I heard yes. Is there anything I can help you with? Whoever's trying to communicate? Alright, I'm gonna try, I have an idea. And, it's just gonna give me 1 second. I have a different idea. Something we haven't done with the Spirit Box Weekly for tests. And, I'm very curious. It sounds ridiculously weird, but sometimes these ideas pop up, and I want to test this out first. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Okay. So what we're gonna end up doing, we're gonna leave that spirit box. We're gonna leave that spirit box going. Okay. We're gonna leave that spirit box going. And what I'm gonna do. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Okay. In the future, anytime I leave the room, the audio itself, I'm going to turn this up too. So that should be fairly loud. Hello, hello. Yep, that's decently loud. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to turn the spirit box back on. Hello, hello. Were you able to hear me a little bit better that way? My name is Dominic. Pleasure to meet you.
That's 99.
Can I ask who we're talking to?
Motorcycle.
I heard Vanessa. Is that your name?
Certainly.
Stephanie?
If you don't mind.
Hello? Can you hear me better by doing this? Just to verify you can hear me, can you say my name? My name is Dominic.
Turn 2. RG right?
I believe I heard you trying to say it, but it was spread apart. Can you try to say it as one word together?
Broke.
And Adam. I've done this during investigating, and it seems to help. It puts me in the room without being in the room.
Better about that.
You were there one of the times I've done this?
Super good, eh?
Alright guys, I'm gonna try to do this. I wanna see I wanna check the audio,
Come on,
make sure the
Nick.
audio's okay. Wanna check the audio, make sure the audio's okay. And I'm gonna put the grid light in here, and I wanna try to talk through this right now, see how this works out pretty well for everybody.
It's just
because
gee, we got little less.
Any individuals, if you can say
no money down.
3, 2, 1.
Possessing of
Can't believe my drink. This message.
Complex.
Edward, I just heard your name again. How are you doing, sir?
stop it.
Husband.
You like that?
Cars and trucks. No more wait.
Tonight.
When you tell
Potential pool.
go to store.
And Doppel, I have tried that. I've ran 3 different devices at the same time. This is a new strategy to try to see what happens with this. David, thanks for being in here.
some brakes. Engines are bad.
Nathan, thank you as always for being in here. I'd like to have a conversation. What would you like to talk about this evening? On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy can you hear me when I'm trying to talk to you through this? Spirits, what colors do you see? Is everything black and white, or is it all in color?
blueprint.
That's just me coming back in the room, just so everybody's aware. I heard you say something about asking you something. David, thank you for being in here. Again, I just wanted to try something new. Normally I'm talking through the mic, but I want to try talking through this, see if it makes a difference. I'm gonna mute this. I'm gonna take the walkie-talkie, set it up here, and I'm gonna play with a mic real quick. Move this around and do all that funny stuff that I had before. There we go. Sorry if that was loud in any capacity. Something different to try. I've done that, and actually my very first location I ever investigated. For any individuals, if you're ever curious about investigating, you haven't done it yet. You can take a walkie-talkie and throw a rubber band on some walkie-talkies. These ones I don't think worked, because I did try to do that last fall. But you can do it with other ones, and you can essentially, just have it so it listens in, and you can talk back into a room, and you're not in there. And sometimes you get some pretty damn good EVPs, some good responses by doing so. But why I wanted to turn it off, I'm going to go ahead and do a burst session. I'm going to try to see possibly if we can capture any EVP at this location as we're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Interesting tidbit, and I wanted to let everybody know, these Panasonic IC recorders, this is the RRQR80. These only record for 30 minutes in high quality. That's 30 minutes. Which, if you're doing burst sessions, that's good. That's not too bad. But if you're not doing burst sessions and you're trying to use it as a just a standard voice recorder to capture your investigation, that's not going to work out too well for you. So, wanted to let you guys know that. Just figured that out and found out information on that, and I was like, holy crap, that's not very much. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Let's see what happens. Any individuals that were communicating, I do still have this on, but I now have a voice recorder on, and this voice recorder, you can see a red light on it. And this should pick up your voice. This microphone is parabolic, and it'll pick up in all surrounding areas. Could you hear me better when I was using the walkie-talkie? That's a car driving by. And as I always like to ask, I'm not sure if it came through on the spirit box, so I like to ask it with a voice session. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? Doing okay? And I did take about a short little nap, probably a half hour or so, before we began our session this evening. I woke up and I was in a jazzy mood. Bluesy, jazzy, just felt like singing blues and jazz. Was that one of your favorite kinds of music that you liked listening to? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and play it back. And this is going to be a little weird because I got to unplug this. Maybe not. Why don't I leave that plugged in when I unplug this and plug this in, and then turn off the delay so there's no delay. This audio could be really loud during playback, so I would like to put up an advisory for everybody. If you are wearing headphones, this could be loud, so you may want to turn them down. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get this situated to play it back. Okay.
Any individuals that were communicating, I do still have this on, but I now have a voice recorder on, and this voice recorder, you can see a red light on it. And this should pick up your voice. This microphone is parabolic, and it'll pick up in all surrounding areas. Could you hear me better when I was using the walkie-talkie? That's a car driving by. And as I always like to ask, I mean, I'm not sure if it came through on the spirit box, so I like to ask it with a voice session. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? Doing okay? And I did take about a short little nap, probably a half hour or so, before we began our session this evening. I woke up and I was in a jazzy mood, bluesy, jazzy, you know, just felt like singing blues and jazz. Was that one of your favorite kinds of music that you liked listening to?
Okay, so what I'm going to actually end up doing, it's going to be a little weird, something to try differently, and I'm actually going to go ahead and play that back. This time, we're going to use the noise suppression, and let's see if we can actually get better audio. Okay, and let's turn that on. Any individuals that were communicating, I do still have this on, but I now have a voice recorder on, and this voice recorder, you can see a red light on it. And this should pick up your voice. This microphone is parabolic, and it'll pick up in all surrounding areas. Could you hear me better when I was using the walkie-talkie? That's a car driving by. And as I always like to ask, I mean, I'm not sure if it came through on the spirit box, so I like to ask it with a voice session. How are you doing this evening? How are you doing? Doing okay?
did take about a short little nap, probably a half hour or so, before we began our session this evening. I woke up and I was in a jazzy mood. Bluesy, jazzy, just felt like singing blues and jazz. Was that one of your favorite kinds of music that you liked listening to?
Okay. I didn't really hear a difference, honestly, between playing the two different ways. Didn't really hear much of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this back up to where it was there and there. Turn this down to there. I didn't really hear much of a difference with utilizing the noise suppression with a voice recorder. It seemed like it did it on its own. But again, these are all things, as you're doing stuff, you can always test these things out. Bloody Mary, thanks for being in here. If I've missed anybody, I do apologize. I'm debating doing this walkie-talkie thing again. Them saying a 9, that's pretty substantial. But let's go ahead and turn this back on. Hello.
Anyway.
Are you able to hear me easier because of me talking through this device, or I'm talking louder? And hello, this is Dominic. I'd like to welcome anybody that would like to try to communicate. Anybody in the chat, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, feel free to type those in there. I'd be happy to ask any of those questions. Any spirits within communication, if you would like to ask us anything, feel free to.
Helping me.
I can hear you when you just asked if I could hear you.
We got a piece. Hiding guys.
Hello.
It is upcoming.
Do you know what year it is?
For the opportunity. Aluminum string. Your kid.
Would you believe that it is 2017?
home.
Great.
Get a grip. Chest.
Is there a Jasmine that is present? Do you feel the need that you have to hide?
Sounds like a typical.
I've asked this in the past, but I've never done it with a walkie-talkie.
FLF.
Are there rules that you have to follow where you are?
Play Rocket. April 20.
I can hear a woman is kind of aggravated and angry. I don't mean to offend you.
Stop looking. 90s.
It's pretty. Rome can't sound.
Is Rebecca here? Is William here? Is Emily here? Is there a Stephanie, Jasmine, or Jim?
Jim and Hesney on.
I do have Renee in the chat as well. How was your trip last night to Greece and Rome? Your house was taken? Okay, I'm gonna talk with my normal voice instead of through the walkie-talkie. Can you still hear me okay? On a scale of 1 through 10, how loud am I for you?
Sales department.
Hercules. It was stretched out. That's actually moving because I'm moving the mouse. That's all that is. And if you're curious what the gold is, that's the Bible that I have, the large one that's sitting on the table. 7. Interesting.
Why?
You're right. Gonna turn this off real quick. Any individuals that were able to try to communicate with us this evening, I'd like to thank you for your communication. I'd also like to welcome you to try to communicate anytime that you would like to while I'm here, or anytime I'm using any voice recorders or so forth. You're always welcome to try to communicate, and I don't need to be using that. I can be on Skype or so forth. You are always welcome to stay here if you don't feel safe where you are, and you are always welcome to always try to communicate. I do have a few more questions that are popping through in the chat as we were doing this, and I'd like to acknowledge those. But I'd also like to thank you for taking the time that you have to do this communication. Is there possibly a Caroline? I heard respect, and I do respect you guys. I don't mean to ever disrespect you. All that we do as a team is we donate to charity and so forth with all our events. Who's coming?
Just see if anybody.
I'd like to ask a question, and maybe this is a bad question to ask, but I'm going to ask it. Who is the man in black? Who is the man with a black hat? Who is the man in black? So many legends and so many stories have been told about this individual. Who is this person? Unkind, thanks for being in here. So again, who is the man in black? He wears a black hat. He's the man in black. He's been referenced in movies. He's been referenced in TV shows. He's been referenced in legends. He's been referenced in mythology. Not the Slender Man. That's way before that ever came into existence. Is he someone you should be afraid of? Is he someone I should be afraid of? I'd like you to be careful with your communication, just so you're not going to get in trouble with those that may not want you to communicate.
Crank up some plant furniture.
I'm going to be turning this off in about a minute. I'm going to turn this off in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And it is still going. I mean, it's still sweeping, but yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything about it. The man in black, he wears a black hat, and he's like, I don't know. He's always known to be maybe somebody that's not good. And I don't know if maybe it's a relevance to the Grim Reaper, or if it's something completely different. I do agree I'm wearing headphones as well, Bethany. I think listening to this with headphones is a way to do it. And if you guys are ever curious, I mean, I'm a budget ghost hunter. I mean, that's what I do. You know, I do have some stuff out there. You know, that's a little more expensive, but when it comes to some of this stuff, I mean, if anybody's ever interested, I can show you some of the stuff that we get. But these are these headphones. I think they're about $20 to $30 on Amazon. Yeah, it's like the Shadow Man, but like if you've ever read maybe the Haunted Magazine or some of the books on the paranormal, there's always a reference of a man in black wearing a black hat, and it's way before the Slender Man, way before, and they even reference it in what the hell was it? Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and he's like the guy that changes people from wanting to pass on to wanting to haunt people. It's dangerous. Supposedly it's dangerous to even talk about. But yeah, it's strange as hell. Even if you guys ever watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I mean, hell, I can even reference that. He said, "Hush, hush, people. There's an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Hush." And there's these dudes in suits, and they steal your voice. You can't talk. But yeah, it's some interesting stuff, and I'm curious if it's myth, if it's real, if it's legend. What is it? You know, that's the stuff. We know King Arthur. You know, that all that stuff. King Arthur was a real person. Did he actually go after that Holy Grail? You know, all the stuff with Merlin and all that stuff? Probably not. It was exaggerated. But he was actually, you know, he King Arthur existed. Robin Hood existed. Yeah, Hush with Buffy the Vampire. Best episode ever. If you guys have never seen it, that's the only episode to watch. Like, if you've never seen that show, that is the episode that you'll be like, wow. Beautiful music, and it's scary as shit. Like, I remember watching it a long time ago. But anyway, everybody have a beautiful night. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to check out each other's channels and content. Chris and I think Nikki are doing a new thing. Definitely check that out. They have a Facebook page for it. Chris, feel free to share that on... share a message to me, and I'll throw that up on my Facebook page so people can find that. If you guys are new to the channel, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to be here. And this is all... yeah, I greatly appreciate you guys being here, and you know, you can find real content. This is the reality of the field. Maybe not me doing what I'm doing right here, but we do live investigations as well. We try to get those on the show, or on the channel. And then this is the other stuff when we're not investigating. We try to get this stuff out there. But, you know, this is the reality of the field. Interview the Ghost Hunter. You can get to know some of the investigators throughout the world. And Interview the Skeptic gives you a whole brand new thought process of what we're doing in the field. Our paranormal stories, again, same thing. You know, people have paranormal stories. Anybody in the chat, if you guys are ever interested with that, our paranormal stories, I'd be happy to have guests on. And I'd love to do an interview with you guys and hear what stuff has happened to you, you know, that may be paranormal or so forth. But I think that's it for this evening. I do have a show this Sunday, Interview the Ghost Hunter, with Tammy from Lost Souls Investigation out of California. Excellent group. They do a bunch of charity in their local area, helping soup kitchens and stuff like that. Fantastic group. I can't wait to have this interview. And then I have another interview already set up with another individual. That'll be mid-May, somewhere around there. So I can't wait to share all this stuff with you guys. And everybody have a beautiful night. And can't wait to see you hopefully Sunday. If not, see you next week.